friends. This is a different video than I had originally anticipated making as the next video for my mental health chat. And I debated whether or not to make this video over the last couple of days. But ultimately I decided that my philosophy has always been that if me sharing something that I'm feeling or some kind of story having to do with my life and talking about it is helpful to someone else, then I always want to do it. So I'm doing it. I got the news on Sunday that someone who has been a long time fan of my music passed away at the age of 21. It was also kind of the end result of a lot of hardships that he was going through. So I'm in this interesting position with kind of where I'm at with my music and my YouTube channel, in that I am a very accessible person as far as I really do try and like respond back to emails and messages and make sure that like people feel heard, just to have more of a back and forth and interaction with the people that listen to my music. And so that's led to there being kind of regular people that like, it goes a little bit beyond, I would say, like just somebody kind of listening to my music and, you know, maybe leaving a comment. Like there's a handful of people that have been listening to my music and kind of like engaging and interacting with me for so long now that like, I don't know, they're like my squad. And he was definitely one of the people since I think 2013 that had regularly, you know, commented on my stuff and sent me like messages and things. And, you know, the majority of them were like, I love your new song, like you're, you know, it's so great and whatever. But, you know, a lot of times he would kind of open up and talk about hardships that he was going through, whether it was struggling with being gay, you know, things going on with his family and with his finances and living situation. It's not the first time that people have sent me messages like that. I think the fact that I really purposely try and write music that's meaningful leads to kind of more meaningful interactions and responses to my music. So I do have people that message me and open up about things and kind of share intense personal stories, as I do with everybody that sends me those kind of messages, and really just anyone that messages me at all. You know, always try and respond back with empathy and compassion and understanding and encouragement. But there's also this strange line too where I don't want it to go too far. I still want there to be a boundary just because it's healthier that way. And I think it's healthy for me personally to have this boundary because I end up inevitably feeling some sort of responsibility for when people say, you know, that my music has like helped them or helped them get out of a dark place. It's almost like I feel like it's up to me in some sort of weird way. And so for me, it just is healthy to have kind of a boundary and to make sure that I'm trying to have the appropriate level of response, but also trying not to get too involved. And I don't want this to sound like I'm making this about me, because it's not about me. And that was one of the things that I debated about even talking about this, because I don't want it to seem like I'm turning something completely not about me into being about me. But I just wanted to share how this made me feel, because I've been really wrestling with it over the last couple of days. And I think it's because of the reason I explained, is that, you know, when someone messages you and tells you that your music and your lyrics have helped them, and then you find out that ultimately it didn't work out for them, I think one of the first things that I felt was just an overwhelming sense of guilt. And I know that that's probably completely wrong, but to just feel like, was I being selfish, trying to have a little bit of distance? And whenever he did email me and message me and talk about going through a hard time, I always tried to message something back that was positive. So all this to say that when I found out on Sunday that he had passed away, I just was so sad that somebody so young, you know, there's this whole thing of like, it gets better. It's the mantra that you're supposed to use to get through like your teenage years. It gets better, it gets better. And like, what do you tell somebody that's gotten past their teen years and it's not getting better? Because it doesn't always get better. Sometimes like the shitty things in your life just become different shitty things, and the best that you can do is to tell somebody like, please just keep going and please keep hanging on. But I don't know. So I just felt guilty. I felt like maybe if I had responded differently, if I had, you know, written more back, that it would have made some kind of difference somehow. I imagine that's probably how people feel a lot of times when someone passes away under these kind of circumstances. The thing is, ultimately, people make their own choices, and you can do your best to be there for somebody, but you can't control people and you can't control their choices. I think you have to have a reasonable level of understanding of that. But it doesn't make it feel any better. Just because you rationally know that like there was really nothing you could do to fix the situation or to prevent the situation, it doesn't make it less painful. So, you know, ultimately I'm just so sad that this happened. So sorry for his family that they are going through this. You know, to a certain level, like, sad that he's not gonna get to see or hear any of the stuff that I'm gonna do in the future. And maybe that's selfish, but I just know that it made him happy. And so I'm just sad that I don't get, there's one less person for me to be able to make happy with what I do. I don't really know that there's anything else to say. I'm sorry if this was meandering, but this has just been a really strange couple of days, and it hit me really hard on Sunday, and I wanted to take a couple of days to see if I wanted to make a video about it and to be a little less emotional about it, because it has really weighed on me. So please just keep his family in your thoughts. He was part of our little family that we have on here, and he was one of the most enthusiastic ones and was always just very, very sweet. So I know I've said this before, but I just want to end the video on saying that if you are going through a hard time and if you are struggling with something, please talk to someone. Talk to a therapist, talk to somebody on a hotline, talk to a friend or a family member. Just please talk to someone, because you don't have to go through it alone. So I will see you next time.